Hello and welcome back to Vintage Gaming Memories. Thank you for your interest in checking out this video. If this is your first time to the channel, please be sure to subscribe and check out the other videos I have put up. And if this is a return visit, thank you once again for your continued support. In this video, we're going to look at the Atari Stunt Cycle model SC450. This is a cool Atari item I have that might bring back memories of Evel Knievel. For those of you who might remember that daredevil on his motorcycle. But for those of you who don't, let me just explain a little bit. This is a game that back in the mid-70s, the craze was all about Evel Knievel and his daredevil skills on his motorcycle with his red, white, and blue outfit. So this game came just in time for you to get that experience at home. And this gaming console here is just what you see is what you get. It really is just this. You get this console that's in front of the box, and that's it. All you need is a monitor or TV to hook it up through the RF connection. There's no need for cartridges, joysticks, controllers, or any add-ons. So this came out, as I said, in 1977, right after their arcade cabinet version debuted in 1976. So they really wanted to capture this at the home market. And just as the name states, this is a stunt motorcycle game where you do various stunts like pulling a wheelie, all the while you try to throttle it enough for speed but not flipping it over. Or you see how many buses you can successfully jump over and land without wiping out. There are 4 games to play on this console, and some are measured on time to complete, or the number of buses you need to clear. I bought this about a year and a half ago for $80, and it did come with the box, as you could tell. I checked on eBay today to see what they're going for, and they're selling around $200 and up. So you can definitely get one if you're interested. It's considered somewhat of a rare item, which I believe it's probably true since I haven't seen many of these on eBay. However, they are listed with either not tested or not working conditions. So that's where you're going to have to pay a little bit more to get a guaranteed working one and with the box perhaps. Comment below. Let me know if you ever had one of these or plan on getting one or maybe played one before, because this is a pretty interesting game. I could see how it could actually entertain you as a child playing this with your friends, seeing who can be better at it. Let's take a look and see what I got here. Start with the box. Well, we could say the box looks just like we expect it to look for something that's about 46 years old. It has some wear and tear. It gives you a little bit of a description and images in the back of how these games would be played. And there's the 4 games shown. And jump 32 buses in your living room. Yep, exactly. Well, let's take a look at the gaming console itself. So, at a quick glance at this, first thing you see is the motorcycle handle grips that are right on here. One side of it doesn't really move. It's just there for looks. It's got a rubbery feel to it though, just like you would on a bicycle perhaps. The other one does move back and forth so you can throttle it. And here's the front. Very good condition. And if we look around on each side, the back, you have your RF connection to your monitor or TV, and then you have your AC power plug-in, which I can use my 2600 or my Pong one as well. They're all 9 volts and have no issues. The bottom has the sticker on it, nicely shown, no rips. Really good condition console here. And you can tell this RF connection is super long. It's 16 feet, so it's made to have you sit on the couch or on a chair and put this on your lap or on a table and play it. Let's take a look closely now at the 7 selector options you have in front here. Starting from the left, you've got your power on and off toggling. You get your difficulty mode, amateur or pro. You have your volume, high or low. So right away, that should kind of indicate to you, you know what? How is it controlling the TV volume from here? Because it's not. There is no sound coming out from the television from this unit. All the sound is coming from the speaker built in here. So you are controlling the speaker from low or high on the console itself. Your next option here is a button. It's for the 4 different games, starting with Stunt Cycle, Drag Race, Motocross, and Enduro. And that's pretty much it. All right, so let's get this connected to the television and check out each one of these games. All right, we're powered up, and this is the screen that comes up. It's got a greenish background. Let's select the first game we're going to try out, which is called Stunt Cycle. The screen changes to a little bit of a purple bluish tint here. Stunt Cycle is the original concept game at the arcade where they had this initially. So why not use that as the first game, right? Let's try this one out. The objective is to jump over the buses, which you see in the bottom. There are 8 buses lined up. Currently, you start off with 8. You can max out at 32. You have 7 attempts or misses you can try before the game is over. Obviously, the goal is to see how many buses you can achieve in completing. And you need to do this, though, with throttling it just perfectly. So by that, I mean the right hand, which is the throttle. If you throttle too much, you can do a wheelie, and then that's considered a miss because you'll just flip. And if you throttle it just too little and you don't get enough to clear over the buses, of course, that's a miss because you wiped out. And then if you throttle too much off the ramp, taking it off, and you land off the screen, that's a miss. And speaking about the screen, you're probably wondering, why is there like 3 levels? How do you get from the top left where you can see a little bit of a shadow of a motorcycle, that's you, to the bottom ramp there? Well, the screen is divided by 3 different rows, which gives you the horizontal type of movement because they didn't have horizontal movement games back then. And the way to kind of make that creative look to it or feel to it is by going off the screen from left to right, and left to right, you know? So kind of look at the runway as being those 3 rows all tied together as one. It works. Your mind will adjust. But anyways, this is the first game. Let's give it a shot. Let's see how it runs. Now, I'm going to select it with the amateur difficulty level and volume at low. So there's no start. You just throttle it and you're going. So that's success. So now it changes to 9 buses. The 0 is how many misses I have. There's no timer on this game, so you can take as much time as you want to complete. Let me show you a bad run. As you can see, I flew off the screen. That's a miss. That's why it says 1. Let me do another bad run. Let me wipe out right on the buses. So you don't want to do that either. And also, if you do think you have a good run and you land on your back wheel on the bottom row, it's still going to be considered a miss. Which that one wasn't. I was trying to do that. Let's see if I can get that to happen. I guess I'm too good. Let me do it again. Alright, well, one more try. Alright, that one stayed on the screen, but I landed on my back wheel. That's pretty much the concept of this game. You have 7 tries to get as many buses to clear, and 32 is the max. And there is no high scorekeeping on this. So you can see how you probably want to go ahead and make sure you have a witness to whatever many buses you've jumped over, because how are you going to prove it to your friends that you have actually accomplished whatever it was? It's going to be kind of an honor system unless you have a Polaroid camera and you can take a picture, right? Well, let's jump to the next game here. It's going to be called Drag Race. Background changes to green. Very much the same concept as far as the screen layout. You've got 3 rows, but there isn't anything to jump over. It's just a timing game. So you need to throttle this right. You need to finesse that throttle so you can get your fastest speed at the bottom row, completing it to the far right. You probably would think, why not just full throttle the whole way through? That doesn't work. Let me show you why. .635. That's a really long 6 seconds. But anyhow, that's not the way to go. You need to kind of finesse it again, give it a couple big throttle pushes, and then get a wheelie going here and there, and you'll see the difference. Let me show you. 360. I can do a lot better than that. Let me try again. There we go, 337. Anyways, there's really probably a couple of tricks to getting this to get the best score. I remember playing this with my son when I first got the console, and we kind of figured out what the sweet spot was, but once you figure that out, it's still really tough to get it within a tenth or 100th of a second better than your opponent, because you both will probably figure it out. But anyway, it's a pretty cool game to play. Next game we'll look at is Motocross. The screen changes to red, and now you see these little blocks in the middle. That's your obstacle. How do you get around them? You have to do a wheelie once you go right over them. The goal is not just to clear them all, but to do it in the fastest amount of time. So it's a timed game, and let's give it a shot. So 278. If you don't do a wheelie, it's a crash, and that's it. As you can see. All right, we'll jump to the next game here. It is the last of the four, called Enduro. The screen changes to a little bit of a bluish tint here. You're like, wow, it looks like a combination game. And yes, it is. The combination of the first game with the buses to jump over and the last game with the obstacle in the middle, the block. So you are not being timed. So take your time going through this. It's just about how many buses can you clear, knowing now that you have an obstacle before you approach the ramp. So you really can't just throttle however you want to, because you have a short amount of time to do it right. And you can also wipe out before you get to the ramp because of not doing the right timing for the wheelie over the obstacle in the middle. So let me give a run on this and see how I do. Right away, I didn't even do the wheelie. Let me do it again. Well, not enough of a wheelie. One more try. And you see that one, I landed on my back wheel, so that was not good. I've got 3 misses already on 8 buses. Gosh, not enough throttle on that one. All right, got 1, now to 9. And that's pretty much the same concept game of the first one, as it keeps on going with your 7 attempts. And the best number of buses cleared is the high score. And once again, no high score is being kept on any of these games. Once you do a trial run or do a run and you do the next one, it's gone, and the only way of proving it is to show it to someone while you have it on the screen. I have to say though, overall, these games were pretty entertaining even for this day and age. I have a 10-year-old. He and I played this a little bit when I first got it, and he was entertained. So if a 10-year-old is entertained with a game that was 46 years ago, that's saying a lot. So thumbs up for this concept game by Atari. I don't know. I think this is one of those games I would definitely see myself pulling out once in a while and just playing it for a little bit. That's about it for now. Thank you guys all for watching. I really appreciate it. And remember, keep that gaming passion from the past alive by living it today, just like we did right now. Take care, everyone.